Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 18 of your favorite podcast. This is my favorite podcast, episode 18 of this podcast name. You guys ready for this? We're gonna do this together. This is episode 18. 18's the charm, everybody. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Arcade Parlor.
Arcade Parlor.
Okay.
Crushed it. Nailed it.
Absolutely nailed it.
That was professional.
We'll fix it in post, okay? It's just more work for me, guys. It's just more work. Fine.
I think Craig do it. Craig, you got us, right?
Yes, he's a bear.
He's a bear. Our listeners don't know. Craig is the backbone of this podcast. He holds it together. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. Welcome in, everybody. Today is February 3rd. Episode 18, as we said, Arcade Parlor. We're live on Twitch. Welcome to those who are able to make it here, as well as to our listeners who will be, catching the podcast on Monday, which for you, it's February 5th if you're listening to this on release day. So happy February 5th.
Happy February 5th.
Yeah.
Great day. One of the best days of the year, February 5th.
It's right after the weekend that Groundhog Day happened. And
wow,
that's exciting.
Did he see a shadow? Do we know?
He did not. I only know this because someone told me this.
Okay. Can somebody explain this to me? Like, if he does not see a shadow, spring is coming, right? Sooner?
Correct.
In my mind, shouldn't it be the other way? Like, if he sees a shadow, that means the sun's out, right? So spring is coming. I never understood that. Ever
since I was a small lad, I always was like, why are they using a ground animal to determine the seasons? And so then it just never was a thing for me. I just was always like, let's see what the people say this year. Like, how silly can they be, dude? Because winter's been coming early for months.
How genius is that? Like, a town created a holiday. So that town not only gets tourists coming in, but it's like a day of the year that they celebrate. And like, I live in Texas. For New Year's, we have a chili drop where the chili is ambiguously colored and you get to vote on at New Year's, is it going to be red or green? And everyone gets into it. They get a band. It's a party, but that's still just a New Year's celebration. This town had the unmitigated goal of being like, no, we're making this day about us. And it's going to be about a rodent that sees this shadow that predicts the weather. And someone's got to be like, let's do it. Let's throw a big party. And the fact that they got Bill Murray to star in the movie, yes. Incredible day.
Dude, it's wild if you think about it. Because like, what happens if somebody builds, I don't know, a couple 12, 15-story buildings around where they pull the groundhog out and the sun can't get there? Then there's no shadow ever. So what's your
literally ruin a town?
Because what happens if I hold up a groundhog on the East Coast and the West Coast? Is the shadow going to be there?
It has to be in Punxsutawney. Can you imagine that supervillain? His character arc is like, I just want to ruin Tawny Phil. So he buys up all the real estate, builds all these empty skyscrapers, and they're like, we're just going to move it like 10 feet that way. He's like, I'm just going to build more. Yeah, it becomes this. It's ridiculous. It's my favorite supervillain of all time now.
I will black out the sky. No more groundhogs will see the shadows under my watch.
It cuts back to when he's a kid and like the groundhog bites him and he's crying and like that's where it starts.
He's like, it's only because he saw a shadow. If it was always dark, they'd never come from their holes.
My parents wouldn't have gotten divorced if it wasn't for you, Phil.
Oh, the groundhog caused the alley incident. I knew it.
The alley incident. How can we forget the alley incident?
Yeah, the pearls.
Oh my god. 17
intros later, we'll finally get a new movie. Just kidding. Man. This is how it started.
I'm dying. This is going to be a great episode.
It's already going that way. Anyway, I think I heard we did not see the shadow, so apparently spring is going to come early, which is always welcome around here. I mean, I live in Michigan, so the winter's actually been kind of mild, except for you know what? Before we get there, let's introduce you, Ashley. How are you doing? How are you doing today?
Chitako, hello everyone. Happy to be here. I'm doing good.
Good.
It's a beautiful 75 degrees here in Florida. But I'm still thinking about how I went to visit you just a couple of weeks ago in Michigan. Me and Ponch Taco, we actually streamed together a couple weeks ago live from his studio. And
right here with Sonic right behind me. Yeah. It was cool.
And it was like 2 degrees Fahrenheit, just the number 2, no other numbers. That was it.
Yeah.
It's currently blizzarding here, 75 degrees. Literally, we have a light blizzard going on.
Oh my god.
Were you the only one on the plane going from Florida to where Ponch lives? Just had the whole plane to yourself.
There was literally they were spread out, everybody. There's no one on this plane.
Couple morticians on the plane.
Yeah, they were just spread out because there's only a few of you. Because they're we don't know why you're leaving Florida to go to Michigan right now, but have fun.
It was so all winter it's been mild. It's been in the 50s, which is very warm for Michigan here. 50 degrees. And then we're coming up on the date when we're coming up to the week when Ashley's going to come here. And you flew in on a Friday.
Yeah.
That week starting Tuesday, it went down to single digits. It snowed. There was it was dangerous to be on the roads for a while, but the whole duration she was here, it stayed single digits the entire time. And then you flew out Sunday morning, and then Monday everything melted. Everything melted on Monday.
Dude, isn't it wild how fast that happens? I'm from the Mississippi Gulf Coast, so I grew up on the beach basically, and then I came out to Colorado 7 years ago, and I was like, what? They were like, yeah, it's going to snow. And I was like, oh, I just imagined the snow meant that it would be covered in white for days. What's going to happen is it got heavy for a day and a half, and then it was all gone in less than a day and a half.
Very underwhelming.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And the thing that people don't tell you too about, at least here in Michigan, because typically when we get snow, it sticks around for a while, usually. What they don't tell you, it's really pretty when it comes down. But if you don't live in a climate like this, you don't realize that after it's there, how nasty it gets.
Dude,
on the roads, the black snow and everything.
Gross, dude. I remember seeing big black mounds pushed off of the road, and I was just like, bro, snow has to be one of the most disgusting things ever. People have no idea. This is disgusting. This is just happening.
And speaking of those big mountains, the big mounds of snow, I remember in elementary school, recess, because they would push those giant mounds to clear the parking lot. They'd always, I don't know why, this is probably a terrible idea of them. Maybe they didn't have anywhere else to put it, but they would push them all up against the playground area. And of course, us as kids, we're all on top of that. We're sliding, we're shoving people down. I swear one time, I think I blacked out. I was in first grade. Suddenly I was woke up on the ground. I think I hit my head or something, had a headache the rest of the day, but we had so much fun on those
concussion.
Nice. From a school perspective, maybe they shouldn't let kids up there, but I don't know. I'm
just
not the
ruining your clothes. Your parents are like, "What is going on? This is 7 pairs of jeans and 8 different shirts you've ruined.
Yes.
What is going on?"
But needless to say, as pretty as snow is when it comes down, it gets nasty. When you mix in the salt, you mix in the road traffic and everything, it gets real nasty, and it sticks around for forever. We're past that point now. We did get another snowfall. I don't know, a week ago, but it stuck around even less than when you were here, Ashley. But I'm glad you got to experience winter again, aren't you?
Wow.
I mean, what were Rhode Island winters like? Was it? I mean, it's similar climate to Michigan, right? I would imagine.
Say, the only thing I'll say is that I actually love winter and I love snow. The only thing I didn't like was shoveling my car out of the snow. That was it. Honestly, I like cold weather. I had a good time. The only time was after our stream, it was super late at night. It was like almost 2 a.m. and there's no sunlight. It was just bitter cold. It froze my bones real quick. But other than that, I thought it was beautiful. I had a great time.
Now, don't lie. How many times have you driven to work with only a small hole of your windshield defrosted because you're late, or you're open the window and you're driving with your head out the window?
Yep.
Entire windshield is frozen. Snow is so dangerous.
I have done that.
If you live in a snow, if you live somewhere where it rarely snows and you get like an inch, they shut down the town. So in Las Cruces now, if it snows an inch, they send you home from work. It's ridiculous. But back in Pittsburgh, if it snowed, doesn't matter. You get to work on time.
Same
You
here.
better get there.
Same here, dude. In Colorado, they're like, bro, it's Monday. Like, there's 4 inches on the ground, and they're like, yeah. And we open in 20 minutes. What are you doing at home still? Like, what? Oh, okay, nice.
It's the same here in a hurricane, though. It's pouring, and the wind.
I know
is
that
crazy.
life.
Oh yeah, and they're just like, so you're gonna be here in 10 minutes, right? See you then.
Yeah. I know that life, dude. I used to manage a restaurant on the Gulf Coast. I used to manage a sports bar and grill, and they stayed open until the last minute. All right, we'll shut it up. We can board up a couple windows, I think. All right, y'all can head out.
And then you can head home afterwards.
Literally, yeah. Board up the windows, then you can head home. Exactly.
Jeez, that's crazy.
And you just do. I mean, we never left for any hurricanes. We sat through Katrina, like all those. Yep. That's it.
One of my great memories is I had a boss. His name was Al, like the sweetest guy of all time. And we had one of the rare times we had like 5 feet of snow in one night. It was insane. And so it was one of the few times they were considering shutting down where I worked. And he called me. He's like, hey, we're actually going to be open, but you're only supposed to come in if the roads are plowed. Can you look out and see if they plowed your road? So I get up after a long night. I did not treat my body well that night. I look out the window and the roads are covered. I'm like, oh, thank goodness I don't have to go in. But as I'm looking, the snow plow comes, completely cleans the road, gives me a clean path to work. And I go, Al. And I just straight up lied. I'm like, nah, they didn't plow my road yet. And I felt so bad because he's the nicest guy. He's going to be there by himself. But I'm just like, nah, it's covered.
I've done that out here back when I used to work. I was like, I straight up called and was like, the plows haven't been through yet. There's nothing I can do. Like, I'm literally snowed in my apartment complex.
That's the voice too. That's the
voice. This is insane. I'm out here and I can't even see my ankles. Like,
you have to shake your head left and right when you're lying too. You're like, nah, it's
and you're on
covered,
the phone,
man.
I can't even see you. What are you doing? You're like, this is look at this.
This phone signal's not even going through. It's so snowing. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Ned Schneebly.
I will say the best investment I've ever made at my house, being in Michigan, is a snowblower. The best investment ever. To paint a picture, my house, it's I don't own like a huge house or anything, but we have the house and it's a single lane driveway that goes up the length of the house to the road. And then we have a detached garage in the back where then it expands to like 2 cars and then 2 cars can pull in. So it's a long driveway. And like, I think one winter when we first moved here, I didn't have a snowblower. Then we just had shovels. And between me and my wife, when we go out there and shovel, it would take us 2 hours of back breaking shoveling to do. And so I was like, that's it. Not doing. So next year I bought a snowblower. 15 minutes. It's done. 15 minutes. No sweat off my back. It was done.
That's
best
nice.
investment. Best investment.
Are the kids old enough to operate the snowblower yet? Because isn't that like the whole reason you have kids?
It's one of the main. It's definitely like at least 70% of the reason why. Yes.
Yeah, right. And so they bring you drinks and they do the chores. Like you suffer through the potty training and things like that, but then you get a few years of a little butler that you don't have to pay.
Little butler.
Right. That's 100%. You know, my dad told me he only had kids just so he didn't have to get up off the couch to get his lemonade, you know. So I assume Paunch is the same way.
Absolutely.
That's great. That is great.
No, she my oldest just turned 4 last week. Oh, 2 weeks ago, last week. I don't remember what it was. So I'm not there, almost there, almost ready to start helping.
Wow, dude. I was about to say, that's real close, dude. And they're not working already. You might be slacking as a parent.
They got the cushy life. 4 years old, not doing any work yet.
You're
this is going to be good.
You're building soft people, just little soft Play-Doh children.
We're already in the child labor. I love it.
Actually, I think we might have already gotten our title of the podcast. Let's write that one down.
I'm writing it down.
So good. Oh man, one of my favorite snow stories of all time is when you guys had it where it snows a ton, but then it warms up just enough for it to rain. but then it gets cold enough that the rain freezes.
Mhm.
That's
The
called danger zone.
Danger zone. And so we had this sled riding hill that we all went to that was kind of like a soft curve. And if you didn't take the soft curve, there was a 15-foot drop into jagger bushes. But it's never an issue because, you know, normally it's a nice soft enough curve. But that day with the super sled, and we're like 13, we're gonna be dumb.
Yeah.
So we're going up there and we're flying, just barely making it. And this is a memory that is burned into my brain that'll never go. I don't have like too many great memories like this. My friend Kevin flies down and he's going way too fast. Like think of Christmas Vacation,
Right.
you know, and he's going.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt in my head he is gonna fall off. And I'm going right behind him. And you can see the fear in his eyes, but he manages to stop just before going off the ledge. But little did he expect, I did not stop. And I'm going full speed. So I see him turn around, look at me with a smile because he did not fall in the jagger bushes. And then the smile turns to fear and I nail him. And he stops me, saves my life. And this poor kid is just flying down into jagger bushes. And it's just the sweetest memory in my, I'm sure he thinks of it differently, but for me, it just brings such a like smile to my face that I just ruined to go from so happy to midair into jagger bushes was just, I'll never forget that moment.
Dude, I knew this story was going to end in a concussion, but it didn't.
Right.
I was like in my head, I had like odds going, and I was like, concussions right now are like 3-1. I was like, this is like, we're doing good. Like, there's a chance. I was like, wait, ice. What's going to happen here?
We had a friend come over once that broke his arm on that hill, and it's a very caged up. Like, it says, "Do not enter, no trespassing." But this is like the '90s.
Y'all
So
were
you
like
just
the
walk
rocket
around
power
that.
kids.
That's like come on
Not nearly
in, come
as
on in.
cool.
The water's warm.
Right?
That's
We went
basically
there
we might as well
every
write
year,
on
man.
those signs to the '90s kids.
Right? It's just welcome on in.
my.
Ashley,
Dude.
welcome in. It's great to have you here today.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
We're also, as I look around the room, I see we're also joined by Pops. Mike, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here. This is going to be, I'm already excited about this. Well, if we stop this episode now, we have covered all of our bases, like hurting kids on hills, putting kids to work, you know, ruining Punxsutawney Phil, you know, I
Origin
like
stories.
origin
Yes.
stories,
Yes.
the pearls in the alley, you know, we got Michael Keaton Batman, and we have covered everything. And I am excited.
Yeah. As long as you
Zero
put an
talk
origin
about
story,
video
it's hot.
games on this video game podcast so far, which means it's going to be a good one.
Oh,
That's
it's gonna be
it.
great.
Well, Pops, it's great to have you here as well. That intro is a little shorter. That's okay. We'll keep we'll keep moving here. We're also I am your host, Pancho Taco. David, you guys know me, hosting here. I'm happy to be here. Episode 18 is a lot of episodes. You know, we were talking right before we got on here that we started. I don't know. I think our first episode came out in December or something of 2022, and we haven't missed a single month yet. It hasn't happened. We've maybe had like a slight delay, like maybe a week and a half, or 2 weeks at the most, due to just scheduling, trying to get something, you know, somebody we were interested in getting on here, and they just, you know, schedules didn't line up. But we've been doing good. We got 18 episodes, a year and a half of podcasting.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
It's
I mean, that's
awesome.
not something to just like, you know, write off, dude. That is
it's
big time.
It's definitely a lot of work, but we have a blast. It's a blast every month sitting down here, the three of us, and then the rotating chair as opportunities open up. It's a great time. It's a great time.
As I said before, I see the passion in it, man, and that just gets me so excited. Like, I get so pumped. I say it all the time. I love to see people win. I love to see success happen. Like, that gets me more amped than anything. Everybody can win. You know what I mean? It's not an exclusive thing, dude. Everybody can win, dude.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't gotten to like introducing our guest yet, and we will in a second. But I have to say really quick while we're on this, one of my favorite things our guest says, because he's one of my favorite streamers. He says, "There's a seat at the table for everybody." And that's my favorite thing. It really, like, honestly, like, I always thought that way, but to hear like it, like, in words like that, it's just that sentiment that everybody can win. And we always say too, like, there's somebody out there that is looking just to be watching someone just like you, you know, and that goes for every streamer. So That's a
Heck
big
yeah.
thing that I love about our guest today.
Well, thanks.
Well, speaking of the guests, let's go ahead and introduce you. I mean, we're already like what 20 minutes into the podcast. We haven't. I think we need to intro our guests sooner. But you know what?
I liked remaining a mystery voice until now. Now
just
it's
as
like,
everyone's like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Well,
Geico
without further ado,
Caveman?
let's go ahead and introduce you. We're joined here, our fourth person on the podcast here, PlainOleTrey of Twitch.tv.
Hello and howdy. Thank you for having me. First off, thank you, Poncho. Thank you, Cheese Pops. Thank you, Ashley, Florida. Like I said before, I really, really like you guys' commitment to everything. It's it felt really professional walking into my office today, which is a change of pace. It was very nice, but it was awesome to be invited onto such a thing, and I'm very happy to be here today. I'm grateful that you had me. Like you said, I guess if do you want a little bit about me, or should I?
Why don't we jump right in? You know, we probably have people listening that, you know,
I wasn't sure. I wanted to.
Yeah, let's do it.
you
I'm sure
take the
there's
reins
people listening today. They're going to see, you know, PlainOleTrey. They're like, okay, who's this guy? They're tuning in. So let's hear a little bit about you. Let's.
Okay.
When did you start streaming? When was that?
Okay. So essentially, I started on Twitch in 2018. That's when my account was created, July of 2018. And I came onto it I moved to Colorado and I was going to be doing stand-up comedy. That was my idea. I was like, oh man, comedy, we're going to do this. I'm excited. And then a friend brought it to my attention. Oh, dude, have you ever been on Twitch? Have you ever seen like what people do? He shows me this guy. This dude's having a great time and he's entertaining this big audience and they're just having so much fun. I'm like, you mean I can like kind of tell jokes and like crowd work with the energy that's coming in from the chat and make laughs happen, and I can game and like continue to like evolve my passion in a new way. So I was like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. So I got on and I thought you had to jump on what everybody else was doing. So I immediately went into Fortnite because that was the thing. Everybody was playing Fortnite and just got blue hair now. Let's do this. And
yeah.
So I was like, let's go. We're going to do Fortnite. And, you know, I built a base up to about 50 viewers with it. I was very excited. And I was like, but I'm getting sick of just playing Fortnite every day. And so I was like, I played Zelda and my cell phone and my laptop were my two viewers that showed up. And I was like, nobody wants to watch me do this. And so I got really sad and I stopped doing it for like a year and a half. And I had a buddy that was just like, man, you can't just walk away from this. He's like, you were always fun. He's like, just think about it. Do something different. So I thought on it for a while and I was like, all right, I'm coming back and I'm doing whatever I want to do, however I want to do it. I'm not letting the audience dictate what I do or how I do it. I'm just going to build authentically me and what I want from this thing, right? Like I'm going to try my hardest to make it as authentic as I can with obviously some limitations due to there being an entertainment aspect. You obviously want to have some entertainment, but you know, I was like, I'm going to do this my way and I'm going to make it work. And then the rest has kind of been history. We've had a lot of ups and downs. We've had a lot of waves that we've ridden. We've helped a lot of people out. And now I'm here. I'm PlainOleTrey, the best hair in the business and repping Twitch.tv, you know? That's about it. That's what I got for a little blurb for you.
Can we, you mentioned, I think we got to talk about it. The best hair in the business. Pops, I know you were really admiring the hair once Trey hopped on.
If you're looking or listening on the podcast, like I am telling you, find our YouTube page or like go watch, you know, if you can find this dude, look at the hair because it will startle you. You will clutch your pearls. Do not let your mother or your wife see this hair because it will cause a problem in your family dynamic, but it is immaculate.
Well, thank you very much, man. It's been the best since the start. I've always told people, believe it or not, it's not character count in my title. Twitch solidified it when I was just a Wii affiliate. They were like, okay, this is permanent. He's going to have this. And so I can't remove that from my Twitch titles. That's why it will always say with the best hair in the business, no matter what. Literally, that's all that can happen. I can't do anything about it. I try to delete it. It's still there. So, you know, Twitch spoke and I listened.
They know what it is. They know what it is.
Have you always had that in your title, like since the first stream when you came back, or like how long did it take to come up with best hair in the business?
Probably like about a month in of when I was back. I was like, my hair is looking better and better every day. And I was like, you know what, dude, you got to be the best at something. And 3 viewers ain't doing it right now, but I know what will. And I was like, this hair. You lead the way. I was like, my hair is basically Pancho Taco. Like it guides me, and I follow it. It guides me. It's how I get where I've got to go. You know.
I do have a question for you about the hair. So if I don't wash my hair for a couple of days, it looks great. But I also get a really dry scalp. But if I wash my hair every day, it looks frizzy. It's not its best, but my scalp is good. Do you have any tips or suggestions on how to balance that out? Or am I just using the wrong product if I do it daily?
So I'm thinking like this. So I'm usually on a schedule. I try every 2 to 3 days, depends on how the hair's looking and how I'm feeling, right? Because sometimes after a couple sleeps, it can get a little out there, and you're like, I don't know, I think I'll wash it. But since I'm indoors most times, I mean, I do what I do for 7 hours a day at a minimum. That's the daytime. I'm not out. I'm not like getting sweaty and rough. So it's very easy to maintain for multiple days for me. The dry scalp thing is a definite problem that I had. And within the last 3 months, my wife's hair salon chick put me on to this wonderful shampoo, and it's only for your scalp. So I only use like a less than a quarter size amount in my palm, and I massage it into the scalp. You don't even use it every time you wash. You just use it when you feel your scalp's getting a little rough. And for whatever reason, it has completely changed things for me as far as like my scalp goes. And so like used to, there would be like some dry, and like it's not there now. And I'm like, good deal. Cause like I never used to be that way when it was short, but then it got longer. I moved to Colorado. It's dry. My hair needs more and then the scalp's getting dry fast. So, I mean, I would just, if like your wife, for example, has a hairstylist that she trusts her opinion of, I would seriously just be like, what can you do? I know that you might specialize in female hair, but I am a male with longer hair. How can I get my scalp to not be, because like it literally could just be a thing, because one of the chicks was telling me like it can be a thing, like just because your hair's so long, it's just constantly pulling all that from your scalp too. And so it'll dry out a lot faster. So I would just kind of maybe try to look into a product. I'm not trying to interrupt the thing. I was like, I could go run and grab. That's what I would normally do. I'll go run and grab it out the shower and show you. But it's like this it's like heal something shampoo. I'll take a picture and show it to you later. You can pop it in the post.
Discord.
Yeah, there you go.
You can make a little blip pop right here. This shampoo right here is what you guys need. It's gonna help
the green screen.
time. Yeah. And if you use this, I can't talk for you, but for me, it's been very helpful.
It's funny you say that, because I just only recently, like this month, because I will go Great Value brand everything, like Great Value. But I recently this month, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start stealing all of my wife's stuff. So I grabbed her facial cream and like her body wash. I'm like, this is incredible. Oh my goodness.
I feel like a new man.
My wife harps on me all the time. She's like, use all of my face stuff. You don't want to look like an old man. You're on camera every day. Use the face stuff. She's like, there's creams, there's oils, there's this. She's like, wash it and make sure you do, because I'll just quickly wash my face, rinse it off, and then towel. She's like, put the stuff on afterwards. She's just like, what are you doing? And the shampoo and stuff, dude, you can't afford to look. That's an investment for yourself. And she made me realize that. And you can clearly tell when I started using better shampoo versus when I used to use Great Value shampoo. And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, my hair used to be like the Great Value shampoo is like, but it was like ratty. It was like big and ratty. It wasn't like curly and like it was like, I was like, man, that's a big difference. Why do I always look like a triangle or a piece of like sushi every time I'm on? Like a piece of sushi every time I'm on camera. What is going on here? Like, I just pop it. Hey, it's so goofy, dude.
Probably should have mentioned this to you. This stream is brought to you by Great Value. So their products are incredible. No, I'm just kidding.
And half of them contain tilapia. Have you guys seen that? Dude, so there was this like thing that went like viral, and it was like all the Great Value brands, and people were taking pictures of their ingredients, and like every one of them was like may contain traces of tilapia. Like their marshmallows may contain traces of tilapia.
It might.
And so people were like, what is going on? Like, are we all still on Team Great Value, or is this just gotten out of hand? Because like every single one is like may contain traces of tilapia. I'm like,
was there like a tilapia explosion in the factory? What happened there? Did they ever get to the
marshmallow mateys? Like,
something's fishy here,
dude.
Wow.
I'm sorry. We can cut that from the podcast.
We'll get that out in post.
Yeah, Craig, you hear that? Timestamp it right now. We'll pull it out.
Can I just say, Pancho Taco seems like a 3-in-1 in a bottle kind of guy. Like his shampoo, conditioner, and soap is all in the same bottle.
I'm all
like,
about efficiency, baby. You get
the
conditioner, shampoo, body wash, one bottle. Get it all on there and get out. You're done.
Dude, to be fair, you probably look like a big, sudsy, fuzzy bear, and it's probably adorable because you get to do it all at one time.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say, when I had shorter hair, the 3-in-1 was the way to go, dude. So efficient. Just hit me everywhere. Get me out of here. Oh, man.
How long ago was that? How long ago was that for you?
I haven't cut my hair since 2015.
Wow.
9 years of growth.
Yeah.
Now, like, do you get like the ends cut at all, or
so
do you just...
I let the wife tell me, hey, it's getting a little out of hand. You need to do your ends. They're getting too dead. And then I go, okay. And I'm probably actually going to get a little bit cut off to stimulate it, so it'll grow a little bit more.
Okay.
But like not much. Probably like, if anything, because like a lot of this toward the end is like kind of dead, and so it's never on camera.
Is your hair longer than mine?
Oh, my hair when it's wet goes down past my it's on my butt cheeks. It's like it feels weird, but it's on my butt cheeks.
Yep.
I didn't know what else to say. Sorry. Yeah, that's. But like once it dries,
we've all got a vivid picture now.
It gets the curls once it's dry, and so then it just springs up and it looks shorter than it is. But like it's like way down there. I like it. Never in my life. I used to have hair like Pancho Taco. That used to be my hairstyle. That, and then it was a buzz cut for the longest time. I rocked the buzz cut throughout high school.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. And then when I was in college, I grew it out like yours. And then after college, I sold insurance for a little bit. And then after I sold insurance for a little bit and stopped doing that, I was like, all right, we're going to get rid of this hair. I think I'm going to start growing my hair. And I started growing it when I started managing the sports bar. And I was like, this is cool. I dig this. And then I really liked it. And then I moved out here and I was like, oh, there's really no need to cut it. And in fact, it's like a fun, like extra on top of things. Like, look, I didn't know I could grow hair like this, and I can. I've always had a buzz cut. So like, I don't know. I like it.
I have a question, a little off topic, if that's okay.
Go for it.
When did you get into SMW Kaizo? Because I feel like that's like your claim to fame right now, and like with Grandpa World 3. I mean, Grandpa World 3, like all four of us have touched Grandpa World 3 in some way, played it in some way. But how did the SMW Kaizo start for you?
So while I can be professional and be like PG, I was always kind of like, I'm very vulgar and very just like whatever comes to mind. So I was like, the Kaizo community is probably not going to like me, because I felt like a lot of them weren't like that. I felt like a lot of them were much more like, let's be pristine, let's be proper. And so like I didn't feel like I fit in at first. So I was like, I don't know if I'm part of the Kaizo community, but at first, right now I feel more so. But at first that's how I felt. And I didn't even know what it was. So I had streamed for about 6 months in 2020. And I'd never touched Mario. I was trying to play Zeldas. Like I told you, I wanted to play Zelda bad. Like it's still a staple, randomizer. But I was just playing. I was like, we're going to play through every Zelda in a row. And we did. And then like we played through a couple of other games that I was like liking. And then a friend came in who ended up modding and for a very long time. And you're familiar with them as well. So like they came in and he was like, dude, I'm buying you this. Play it. And he was like, you don't have to if you don't want to. I'm not trying to be that kind of person. He's like, but you should play it. and it was Super Mario Maker 2. And I was like, okay,
Oh.
cool. I played Mario Maker 1 a lot. I didn't even know there was a big community for it because I didn't know what Twitch was. So I didn't know Mario Maker ever had a community that people played, the original one. And so like I have a Wii U back there with levels I've made, all kinds of stuff on it. I loved it. I played it like crazy. So I was like, okay, cool. I didn't even know there was a 2. And so I get on it and I start playing it, and somebody tells me to look up the Kaizo Mario Maker levels. So I looked them up and I found this like Swedish creator who made a world, and he had like so many levels on the world. And I was like, all right, let's start playing this guy's world. And I was really getting into it. And then and then one of my major influences, Smoke, stops in and he's like, what are you doing playing this? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, dude, you need to be playing Kaizo. If you like this, he's like, you're just playing the SMW portions of, like, I only liked when SMW for a while would come up on Super Mario Maker 2. I didn't like playing the new ones. I was like, I don't like this. I like either part 1 or this. I didn't even like 3 when 3 would pop up. I like the original or that. I was like, that's all I like. And so I was like, okay, well, what is Kaizo? And I learned how to download stuff. And I started up some hack called Fire and Ice, and it's like I think like late intermediate, early expert. I was like, oh, I can't do this. I was like, this is ridiculous. And so then I went through this trend of just picking up hacks until there was a shell jump, and then I stopped playing them. So I would like play like an exit and then not play anymore. And then because I was like, there's a shell jump, we can't play this. I don't know how to do that. My skill set's not there. I don't know. And so that's like late 2020 going into early 2021 when I started doing that. And then like 5 months later, I'm playing Invictus on my PC, and we find out via the chat that I didn't have diagonal inputs on. You have to enable those. And so I played through more than half Invictus with only having up, down, left, right with no diagonal inputs. So up pipes had to be pixel perfect every time. Everything had to be exactly right, or I failed. There was a section, and so when we found it, I think I had taken a break, and we actually discovered it when I was playing Nightmare Cafe. There's a section where you have to hold down and right underneath munchers, and I couldn't hold down and right at the same time. It wouldn't let me, and I was like, it's not working. And then somebody was like, check your settings, and then we went back to Invictus, and I was like, bro, this is night and day. And then after that, I got a Super NT, and no lag was there anymore. And I was like, this is even more night and day. I didn't know that Kaizo was supposed to be immediate responsive. Like, I was like, this is crazy. And so after that happened, I went from Invictus to Grand Poo World 2. I took 150 hours on Grand Poo World 2. Loved it, though. I loved every minute of it. And then from then on out, it was just like, I'm going to do these until I could pick up expert hacks whenever I want to and play whatever hack comes out. Doesn't matter what the difficulty is. I can be like, hey, let's play this. And if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. And that was truly my only goal, was just to do that. And people started liking it. So I was like, you know what? We're going to make this a staple of the show, I think. I was like, I like this a lot more than switching it up every single day, because I used to just do Mario Mondays. I was like, I want to do this every day of the week because I can get better at it that way, and it's more consistent and it's repetition. And the chat was cool with it at the time. And I was like, all right, so this will be a staple. We'll do our Kaizo block every morning. And then afterwards, I'm going to do what I coined the game of interest. And it's whatever game I'm interested in that day. So it can be any genre, anything. But as long as the Kaizo audience is there for Kaizo, perhaps we can meet some new friends, and perhaps they'll stay around and welcome in these new friends. And that's just kind of what I built it off of, Ashley. And I just kept doing it from there. And the next thing I know, it's, we're Grand Prix World 3 comes out. We're running it 5 times in a row. I'm getting my time down to like less than 10 hours, and I'm thrilled. I'm like, oh, 6 hours. And then the whole partner thing happens on top of it. And I'm just like, I'm forever grateful to the Kaizo community and stuff like that. I don't feel as ingrained as a lot of people do in it. Still, I really don't. I never really, but I've met people from it that I vibe with a lot. And I'm like, because there's all walks of life in every genre of everything, right? And in Kaizo, there are your groups that just feel very elite about it, and they feel that because they can play something that somebody made on a computer in a basement, that they can be no offense, you didn't have to be in a basement to make it, you could be in your office, whatever, but still
they were in their basement.
They're acting like it's a big deal that they've done something like that, and it's like, nah, yeah, sure, it's a cool accomplishment, but it's not an accomplishment when you start holding it over people's heads and acting like other people aren't allowed to do it because you could do it. Like, no, that's not how that works. So that's, and so I don't like that kind of mentality, and that's why I don't always ingrain myself in the community that heavy. And I know from talking with you that you've had a couple of weird experiences with some people in the community, and it's like, yeah, that's not fun to anyone. Nobody likes that. That's why I'm not like, don't be like, that's PlainOleTrey from the Kaizo community. No, you don't say that. That's not me. I'm not PlainOleTrey from the Kaizo community. The Kaizo community is an offset of something that I do. Like, that is it. Like, I like them, I appreciate them, but I do not owe them anything other than a thank you. Like, I'm like, don't mix me up with some of the people who really are like just salty, bitter people that they can do something hard and now more people can. It's like, what did you think was going to happen? Everything, and that's what happens, dude. Like, you gotta learn to be a little bit more dynamic. I'm sorry you're so one-dimensional, And so, like, when it comes to stuff like that, I get a little fired up about it. And so I'm not always pro Kaizo in that regard. But, I love it. I'm very grateful for the cool people I've met from it. I'm very grateful for what it's allowed for me as growth. And from the perspective of a streamer, the doors it's opened for me, getting to meet, like talk with Barb and him acknowledge me, getting to like talk to some of these other bigger people and like have DMs with them that I never would have imagined I would have DMs with. And it's like, why am I having conversations with these people? And then I'm always on the lookout for like people I think are just so awesome at it. And I'm like, maybe I can like meet people that are awesome at this before the majority of the community meets them and gets them. Like, so I saw Ashley Florida doing it, and I was like, yo, I like this chick a lot. She's playing Kaizo and she's doing really, really well. I'm digging this. So that was like, I think she's like an up and comer for sure. Like, she's about to start knocking this out. I was watching her do Super Mario Maker 2 and she transitioned so smoothly. I was like, this is natural. She's going to do fine. And so I'm like watching and really, really enjoying the show, and that's the part of the community I like, because all her people are so receptive. All her people are so good. And then it's like, I've watched you play, Poncho, and I'm like, bro, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, these are the kind of people that I like in the Kaizo. I know Cheesy Pops is more on Mario Maker, but
because I'm bad at the video game, man. It's hard, but
I enjoy it. I enjoy watching people who like it, have fun with it, but don't take it so seriously as to belittle other people because they can do it well. I think that that's the most foolish thing you can do when you get good at something, is to try to keep other people out of it. Instead, you should try to encourage them and expand their knowledge on the subject matter, so more people know about the subject at large, so more creativity can come to the subject, so more fun things can exist. But nah, people are like, no, my speedrun time.
Whatever. Fun is the key word, right? Because this is just video games when it comes down to it. And video games for me, like, this is an escape. This is where I want to go to enjoy life and have fun with it. And I will tell you, the second, if I'm playing a co-op game with someone and they start taking it seriously and they don't think it's funny when I fall off like a battleship or I do something stupid and they get mad, like, we're not going to play video games again. Like, I'm here to have fun with this. Like, the second you start taking a video game seriously, like, I'm out. Like, dude, you do you.
It gets rough. And then and being in the industry that we're all in, entertainment sometimes gets forgotten. Like, and what I mean by that is sometimes when I'm having outbursts at Kaizo, or I yell really loud and then I go, sorry, my allergies, I forgot to mute the mic, I sneezed. And then like I wipe my nose afterwards or whatever. Some people are like, dude, raging. Like, this was early on. It doesn't happen hardly anymore because people know, but people are like, God, this dude's raging. And I'm like, do you not understand that there's literally a wall between us? This is the entertainment portion of the show. There will be some exaggeration. Like, it's not, if there was no exaggeration for extra entertainment, then you are just a person putting a camera on playing a game. True. That is what everybody boils streaming down to, and then they find out quite quickly that that is not the full story. And so it's like, I don't know, man. People forget that there's that portion though, and they're like, oh, he's really getting mad. Oh, he's really upset. And I'm like, dude, I turn this off. I go cook dinner to some nice smooth jazz. make my wife and I dinner. We cuddle up on the couch with the pets and we watch TV. You know what I'm not thinking about? The stream and the things I was so mad about because I was never mad.
It was all
people
a lie.
forget that, dude. People forget that,
it's
and they
true.
get upset. They get
It's
upset
so
when you
true.
don't play things the way they want to play.
There's absolutely a layer of theatrics that has to happen on a stream because I mean, some people there are very large streamers who they're not chat interactive. They just sit there, they play video games, and they're excellent because maybe they came from an e-stream, or e-gaming background, elite gamers.
Everybody has their own story.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And if that's what works for you, some people do grow that way. You obviously build more of a hardcore audience doing that. But there is definitely a level of theatrics that, it has to happen. People got to be entertained. And if you're not the best of the best, you got to also be good at entertaining then if you're not the best gamer in the world.
If you're not a pro, dude, and so many people write that off and they're like, no, that's not true. People are and so my proof for this, my light thesis on this is I always tell people, if you want to see a stream die, like somebody like me, when I'm having a really good show, if you want to see it die, play Warzone or Fortnite, and you will see how many people do not mess with the game so much to the point that they are like, I'm not even going to stay in the stream or have you pulled up lurking. They will literally leave altogether. And so we did a multiplayer day recently, and we played Warzone because that was something way back to the 10 viewer days that I played. We had a day a week on Wednesdays we would play. And so it was Warzone Wednesdays. I always thought that was fun to do alliteration. I was like, oh, 2 letters of the same thing. That must be smart. So I was like, we would do that all the time. And then I put it on and then we all laughed because I pointed out to them. I'm like, because it doesn't matter anymore. We've achieved what I wanted to achieve with Twitch so far. So I'm like, I don't have to worry about the metric as much. So I was like, we're going to play for an hour. And in that hour, we watched literally 40% of the viewership leave. And I was like, I'm telling you guys, you can say what you want. It's about the streamer, not the game. You can say what you want, but there is a level that you need to have of proficiency in some games, and entertainment will not fit the bill. They don't care. They just want the proficiency in the game. So you have to find the things that are that fine medium. And then some games you need to be overly entertaining or people just don't care. They don't care. So it's this weird juggling act you have to do when you're finding the content and stuff like that. And it's just crazy to see.
Mario is so perfect though, because there's so many little breaks, because Kaizo especially, you're dying a lot. And so every death you get to look right or left wherever your chat is. Okay, let me talk to you guys and go that, or let me go back. Every time I stream something different, I'm like, I like this video game, but there's games that they're hard to stream because all of your focus is constantly on the game, where I can't even imagine streaming an RPG like that. And I know, Ashley, you streamed Zelda for a while. Even those long games like that, Tears of the Kingdom, when do you find that natural, okay, I'm playing and look over here? Because it's built into Mario because you die so much. I'm going to go check out this. But it's tough.
No.
You know what game is really tough for me to stream? It's been a staple in my community for 2 years. It's Papers, Please.
Papers?
Yeah, Papers, Please. And
I see that your community gets pumped for it because you mentioned it and people love it.
We love that game, but when you're playing it, you can't stop because you're timed and you have to read people's information, and you're if you don't know what Papers, Please is, by the way, it's a simulation. It's a very crudely animated game where you're a border patrol inspector for a Soviet fake nation in the 80s. It's the strangest sounding game ever, but it is so fun. There's a lovable recurring convict that you love. Anyway, so you have to read these people's information, and you're that the whole point of the game is to make sure everything's correct and that they can go through the border. And it is so hard to look over at what people are saying. And even if you have a slower chat, you miss stuff sometimes, and it's not the same as when you're streaming Mario Maker or you're streaming a ROM hack where every death you have a second that you can pause and stay interactive. I feel for people that don't always play games like that.
Dude, it's so for me, It's just been one of those things because early on, remember, I started with Zelda, and then actually before Kaizo, I forgot, before Kaizo, before Mario Maker, I was playing Souls too. I played because I love Dark Souls.
Oh, yeah.
I love Dark Souls 1, 2, 3. I love all of them. I love the entire Soulsborne series. I play them. We got all the platinum trophies and achievement on stream. Like that's what we do. Like those games are really fun to me, and I find them not as difficult as most people. So I'm like, okay, these are good. But I think the what happened was from playing Souls, playing Zelda, playing these harder things. You'll notice when I play Kaizo, dude, sometimes it looks like it probably isn't real because I'll literally be reading the chat while I'm doing stuff on screen. And they're like, because Jesse's commented on it. And I've had people comment on that. They're like, how are you like multi-shell jumping and being like, yeah, what's up? Da, 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 and then like continuing to do it. And it's like, well, one, I failed like 80 times on this. So like the beginning is muscle memory. So now I'm good. And so then like with Dark Souls, since you can't pause, you naturally just have to be good at either one, getting out of action or glancing while the action's going on when you're in a state. And so like if I'm in a boss and somebody were to come through the raid, for example, it's like I'm shouting, I'm happy. I'm talking to them the whole time I'm playing. I'm not looking at the chat though. I'm like, I will read your chat afterwards, but I'm still talking to you right now. And you know, with RPGs too, another one that's hard, I think, for people to tackle on stream is like a JRPG or like a turn-based. Like, and I just recently did Chrono Trigger and it was fantastic. Final Fantasy 1 as well. I think something that I'm discovering with these is if you let people backseat just a little bit, you let the line be known. Hey, no, I'm good. I think that if you let people backseat just a little bit, it allows enough audience interaction to keep everyone involved in what's going on. And it gives you breaks because now they are your on-tap knowledge base of the game. So now when people in chat have questions, direct them to him. Now he's keeping your chat involved. They now have questions about stuff that he knows all the answers to. Well, I thought this, dude, I've played this game my whole life. No, man, it's actually this. And you don't even, and in the meantime, you're grinding the enemies. And you're like, okay. And so like, I'm trying to find that because sometimes Pokemon works for me. Sometimes Pokemon sucks for me. Sometimes it does not work at all. And I'm like, I don't get it. What happened? So it's this weird balance with every single type of game. And I think that is the fun challenge of Twitch for me anyways. I look at it as like a fun challenge. It's like, what genres can I get away with? And how good am I at entertaining a large base to this genre? I can't do this one. All right, we'll try again in another week or two. We'll let that rest. I'm going to play these genres because I know that these are my safe zone and everybody likes them and we can keep a base and keep everybody happy. All right, now we're going to adventure out a little bit. Ooh, you guys like this one. Now we can add it to the main pile. And then like we just, you know, it's all trial and error.
I have something I can add to this. Typically, the core of my stream is Mario.
Right.
Yeah.
That's definitely the core for me. Except for October. October, I completely branch out and I play things I don't normally play because scary time of the year. Why not play some scary games, you know? And I look through my library and I particularly pick games that I know are going to be interesting. And it's not at all like playing Mario or something. It's like this year I played through like 4 Resident Evil games or something like that.
Nice.
And so I started off with, what did I start off with? I think I started off with 4. And then I was like, 4. You know what? This was fun. I beat this fast. And I thought, let's play some more Resident Evil. So then I played 2 and I played 3. I did all the remakes. And then I did, then I went to 1. This is the optimal way to play Resident Evil. 4, 2, 3, 1, apparently. And this was a blind playthrough for everything except for 4. I had played the original 4.
Nice.
So not at all the same as Mario, right? And this is my time of the year to branch out. And I will say that, like, you know, those games, it does tend to take you away from looking at chat for a little bit longer at times, especially in the heat of everything going on, especially when you get to like Resident Evil 4, when it's just like guns out, blasting in a village and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're going
You're not just like in a corridor.
Game. Yeah,
exactly. But I'll say, like, I'm able to find, like, I've always been a multitasker when it comes to games. Like, I'm always talking. I'm always, you know, screen peeking. You know, I think maybe this always goes back to screen peeking back in the day. Maybe that conditioned us to do this. I don't know.
Dude,
And
maybe you're ratting on me right now, and maybe I've never publicly admitted that I screen peeked when I was young, and now I feel targeted.
We all did. Don't lie.
We all did.
I always held a record for
there's
never
no way.
screen peeking yet.
There's no way. I just knew you were behind me, and I turned around and one shotted you.
You're right. We would yell at each other so much. Do you ever see that picture of like the cardboard cutout of the kids on the TV?
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Yep.
But
you gotta screen peek. If you're not screen peeking, dude, you're not real.
But even like GoldenEye, you would know like the colors of the room. Yellow. I see blue in my peripheral.
Like,
and also I'm cheating.
Yeah. I see you, dude. I know where you're at.
I can see your eyes looking at the bottom of the screen. Come on.
Come on.
Cheese Pops has a stream tag that I love. It's one of my favorite things about his stream. It says backseating required.
I need help, man. I don't know what I'm doing. And like also I see people that don't want backseating, and I get it. You want to experience the game for yourself, but this is like a community thing. And if I'm watching Paunch play Lion King and I know exactly what to do and he can't figure it out, I'm literally shaking in my chair because I want to tell him. Dude. Because I need to. And
you're wild, bro. I go on rants about people like you all the time.
I don't do it except for a few times I slip up, but I know people want to do it and it doesn't bug me. So if you need to tell me exactly what to do and I'm stuck, just tell me.
I love that, dude.
It doesn't bug me, but I get how it bugs people, but I also know my feeling when someone's stuck. Like I'll watch my wife. She's playing Wind Waker for the first time. And like I am gripping the chair because she is using the boomerang over and over again. Where this is a clear grapple hook situation, and I'm trying to let her learn on her own. And I'm like Navi in her ears, like, hey, if you need help, let me know. If you need help, it's been 0.1 second. Like I'm trying, so I get the feeling of trying to like, people want to tell because they know they're excited. If they're excited, I'm excited. That's the most important part for me.
I'm very much, when it comes to a game, my thing is like, if it's like brand new, and we'll do new coverage. Like when stuff comes out, I'll play it right away because I like to, and it never like has ever detracted from anything. Like everybody seems to always be on board. When that happens, the mod team and the VIPs are all pretty much aware, hey, we don't backseat because this is brand new, even if I bought the game too and I played it. So like that's a community thing that like we've established. So that's a bit different, I guess, because I've established that from the get-go. But like when we do new releases, I am very much like, please no backseating. Seriously, I get how hype you are that this game came out and that you already beat it 3 times. I have not beaten it once. I want to enjoy it with my community, and I want them to see my genuine reaction to these things. I don't want you to spoil story. I get that it's an internet platform. I get that everybody can do what they want, but like there are streams that you can do it in. And I just ask if you want to do it, just go find somebody else that's further ahead than me so you can talk to them about it. It's okay. I will see you when I'm done with this stream. I promise. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back to all the things you like. You can come back and we can hang out afterward. But for right now, I want to do this for me. This is part of me enjoying this. And this is part of me giving an authentic experience to a community that literally wanted to see me play this game before anyone else. And you're ruining it for them too. And that's not fair. They wanted their initial experience to be me playing the game. And it's like, once I realized that was a thing too, like there were some people who were literally like, dude, I'm waiting for you to play this.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm going to start making more of a rule about this. And we're not harsh. I don't ban people or anything like that.
Right.
I'll be like, I'll give you a little timeout. And if you can't stop, I might time you out till tomorrow. And you can try again tomorrow. And if you don't like that, I'm sorry. There are a million other people out there. Obviously, we didn't mesh. I still love you. Like, I don't wish any bad things on you. I hope you find that person that you resonate with. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's just like, I think it just depends. And again, I think it's a balance thing. Like a little bit sometimes go a long way.
Me, like my issue I get with people is since I'm newer to Kaizo and stuff, they'll come in my stream and it'll be my very first time seeing a level, my very first jump in the level, and I fail the jump the first time, and they're like, okay, so this is how you do the entire level. And
that's
I'm like,
what I'm talking about. That I'm not cool with.
Like, let me
How does that help in Mario?
I know.
Well, so like part of the fun in Kaizo, though, Ashley could probably agree, and so could Pancho, was like, you gotta like figuring some of the stuff out is actually very satisfying. It's a puzzle. Like, that's a big part of it. It's like, how am I going to do this jump? And then when you just have some dude that's, oh, what you're going to want to do is listen to me. I'm Professor Kaizo. I know everything. Everything you need to know, I know already. Yeah, so do all the other hundreds of people that have beaten this. And guess what they're not doing? Opening their mouth.
Right.
Be quiet. Like, who cares?
I got a confession for you guys. So I typically make a terrible first impression. I go into Trey's stream and I'm like, everyone, it's super cool. If you've not checked it out, go to the stream. It's super laid back and chill. He'll ban you if you backseat. But other than that, no, I'm just kidding.
That's right. He's absolutely right.
It's iron fist.
You're out.
But I go in, I'm like, dude, and you mentioned this when you talked about going to the Super NT. I'm like, there's just lag in Super Mario World. And I'm like, I played on emulator and I got this lag. I have a Super Nintendo. I played on that and there's lag. It was yesterday that I figured out that TVs have a game setting that eliminates lag.
Do.
And I played Super Mario World yesterday. I'm like, oh my God. It does what you want it to do. And you jump and he's jumping. And I'm like, oh. And I just went into this this legendary Kaizo player. And we're like, there's always lag in Super Mario World. And I pushed up my glasses when I said it. There's not. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to start playing more ROM hacks because I can play on system now. And there's not going to be lag. And I'm like, I always assumed there was just built in, like you jump, you wait, and like you wouldn't notice it normally in any other game. But as soon as you get into the Kaizo level, you're like, okay,
with the precision really that's required. Yeah.
Quite literally, even beginner Kaizo, like you don't even realize it. But like after I got the NT, trying to go back and even try to do like Quickie 1 on the PC is a nightmare. And it makes me feel stupid. I'm like, dude, I can't jump off of one Goomba. It's the first Goomba. Why can't I jump off of these two Goombas on parachutes? I don't understand. This is the easiest thing ever.
Right. You don't feel it until you've had a taste of the hardware.
Yeah, then you get the taste of it on hardware. Like,
I'm so excited to try Kaizo again just because of like, and so I still say this was a conversation in your stream, Trey. I still say Mario World's harder. And harder in the fact that you have so much more control over the character. Like Super Mario World, you jump and you fall rather consistently. But in Mario World, you jump depending on how long you're holding in the jump. If you're not holding it, it's drastically different.
So wait, are you saying Super Mario World versus what?
Just Mario Maker.
Oh, okay. I hear you said Maker. Sorry, I was confused.
Maker has the consistent falling. You can't control it.
Right.
And so,
so you can't control falling on Maker?
Yeah, you can't do regrabs. Don't exist in Mario Maker 2.
It's like a pixel. So
dude,
if you do
my
regrab,
life right now just changed. I'm just like, I try it still to this day because I play Mario Maker 2 almost every night. I play like a little bit of it because I'm like, I want to be good at this, but I'm not. Like, I'm so bad at it. It's hilarious to see. But I play like 30 minutes of it a lot. I'll play like some popular levels that are like rated expert, and I'm like, oh, this is me. But I didn't know that until just now, bro. You just informed me that you all just taught me this.
If you have the same level in Super Mario World and the same level except for the shell jumps, just because everything is consistent and it's like automatic transition in a car is what I like to talk about, like, because you don't have as much control. But if you're really good with that control in Mario World, you can it's incredible to see. But something that looks so easy when I watch you guys do, I'm like, no, that is not easy because he's letting go of jump, grabbing it, letting go of jump, grabbing it, letting go of jump, grabbing it, all just to jump on 3 Koopas in a row, where in Mario Maker 2, you just hold in right. And it's built in. And so it's like something that you don't take into account when you see Kaizo players play is like, this is tough.
So real quick. So then, okay, you just hold right. So are you saying that like when I jump on a turtle in Mario Maker, when I jump on dude, I'm telling y'all, my mind is blown right now. I've always thought that there were regrabs, and I was like, I've just got to learn to regrab on this, but I don't know how to do them right. So like if you're not holding B and you just hold right, that's always going to be the set value. If you're holding B and you hold right, it's always going to be that set value. There is no difference in height, nothing.
You can control the jumps. So like
you
when
can do
you
medium
pop off,
heights,
medium height and stuff like that.
So okay, but like not once you do it and it's set.
There's horizontal variation, but not vertical. There's no vertical differences you can do.
Okay.
It makes it so much simpler. Regrabs like hurt my brain. Like shell jumps, I can do in Super Mario. They're easier in Super Mario World. I love it. No problem
they're way
there.
easier in Super Mario World, and I don't think a lot of people realize that until they try both. But they're much easier in Super Mario World than they are in Maker. Maker is a lot floatier, so it's a lot harder. And then Maker would be like, "Here's a slope shell jump, where like you're like the slopes above you, and you throw it, and you have to."
It's wild. It's wild.
I'm like, what is this? I'm like, what is this? Who soiled the thing I love? What is this?
Oh man, but like in swimming too in Super Mario World hurts my brain. Like you have so much more control because you can hold it down to swim slower and stuff like that.
That's like one of my few humble brags I have about myself when it comes to Kaizo is that I find that I am an expert underwater player. I can play an underwater level with the best of them, and I can do them quick. I can do them fast. I can react fast. I love having the hold down control perfectly. The having to tap like the new one on GPW3 that everybody Gill issue. A lot of people have trouble with that one. Dude, I stomp that one out of the water. Like every time it's easy. I'm like, oh, this is
that gave you some trouble, Pancho Taco, didn't it?
It probably took me about 5 hours to beat, which is actually, from what I understand, way faster than a lot of people. A lot of people really struggled with it.
It is. I was about to say, like, your typical Kaizo player and a little bit above average Kaizo player I watched so many people had so much trouble with it. And I was just like, really? And so, like, when moments like that happen, I do accept. I'm like, you know what? No, I accept it. I am pretty good at this part. Like, I am pretty good at these.
Sure.
Clearly. Like, it's like there's a difference. So I'm like, all right, nice. So I like underwater levels and the control cheese. I really like the precision of it all. I mean, not always. Like some of the hacks I play sometimes are a bit ruthless. Like the one I'm playing now is pretty ruthless, but
I've seen you playing some of that precision, whatever it's called.
Yeah, precision 86, dude. It is.
I'm slowly working through GPW3. I'm at what I just got to 69 hours, I think, and I'm at 22 exits.
22
so
exits.
I'm still working through it. I'm halfway through the exit count, but I know I still have like 80% of the game in front of me. I haven't played any other GPWs, so I've never fought a Bowser. So I still have all that.
Dude, like, you got to remember, dude, GPW2 took me 150 hours, and it's significantly less game than GPW3. So I would say that you are on an excellent pace as far as I'm concerned. Like,
I'm having a blast.
Like, dude, are you beating levels? Yes. Okay, then you're getting better, and that's the only way to get. And that's what I tell friends all the time. That's the only way you're going to get better, dude. You're never going to be able to do the expert category because it's not set up like intermediate. No. It's not like it's. People will say, no, you can play the. Dude, I'm telling you, once you start getting in and you knock a couple expert hacks out, you're like, oh, these are built like. Everything works all the time, no matter what, and you have to figure that smooth rhythm out. And if you don't, you don't get to play. That's
exactly.
And it's like with intermediate, I feel like there's always wiggle room, and you might not have to do the trick quite like this, but it's like it's
a well-oiled machine when you get to expert. There's one way to do it, and there's very little wiggle room. Very, very.
It blows your mind though, man. Like when you beat GPW3 and you start moving on and you play other hacks, it's going to blow your mind if you haven't tried anything else already. Like when you go play something that's easier than that.
Oh yeah.
How much you're just like, dude, I leveled up this much and I didn't even realize
looking forward to that, to see what that is. Cause I know I've already learned so much, like some new tech and stuff that I've never dealt with. I'm kind of dreading the cape level. I've never really done a true cape level in my life. So I know that's going to be a great, I'm going to enjoy it though. I'm enjoying every minute of this hack.
I love that, man. I love that. I don't think there's any time limit on when you should pick up a hack. I don't think there's any restrictions. The only restriction is the ones you put on yourself. If you don't think you can do it or you're not having fun, then don't do it.
Right.
You don't have to impress anyone, right? But it's like, if you want to try it, dude, don't let nobody tell you that you can't play that. I don't care if one level takes 60 hours. Who cares, dude? Don't let people tell you can't play it, because there's literally no way you're going to get better. Like, there's no way. There's no way. If you've never seen the things that you're going to see, that doesn't change if you keep doing the same thing. So it's just like, I don't know. People like to be gatekeepy about that too.
Sure.
I don't like it.
Very proud of Punch Taco. You've only done 1 or 2 intermediate hacks, and then you went right into Grand Puro 3 as your first expert
Respect,
hack
I
dude.
did.
ever.
I did.
Yeah, you're
I'm
kicking
having
butt, dude.
I'm having a blast. It's like I said, I've learned so much, and the only thing I'll say before we move on is for people who play or are interested in playing Kaizo, and maybe you're like intimidated, just do it. You will be surprised what you can figure. You'll get to an area where it's like, I can't do anything for the first jump. I can't do anything in this first jump. You'll be surprised in 3 hours of working how far you got into this hack, like how much you've learned, how much you progressed. Just always aim for a hack that you know is just out of your reach. You'll surprise yourself with how well you're about to do.
Every time, dude.
Every time.
Dude.
Yep. Every time.
You gave me that advice, actually. I just beat Grand Puro 3 fake ending. I'm very proud of myself. It took me like 30 hours to beat 3 levels, but that's okay because we all go at our own pace. And I will tell you, after beating level 1 in Grand Puro 3, Trey said to me, he was like, wait till you play a beginner hack after this. And I did. And I was like, this is so slow. Like I was like,
slow motion.
I leveled up from what it took me 15 hours to beat level 1 of Grand Puro 3, and I leveled up from that 15 hours. Let me tell
all the
you.
fast falls, all the quick, and so like you go from that to like there's a shell jump, and then afterwards you might have a green bean to get to that platform that has one muncher all the way at the end of it. So there's no way you're gonna hit it because you've been playing things where you have to land on a pixel. Like, so it's like you've got this much space and you're like, there's all this. And everybody else that doesn't know or is not engaged, like, how's she going to do that? That looks crazy. There's no way. That's so tight. And you're like moonwalking in the space. You're like, what? We do all these activities, dude. I can do karate here. Like, this is easy.
So I would also like to commend Cheese Pops because with the laggy way that you were playing any of the ROM hacks you've ever played, you got to checkpoint 1 on level 1 of Grand Puro 3. So let us recognize that, Cheese Pops. How's it feel?
I didn't even know that, dude. Nice.
It took well over an hour, but we got there.
That's pretty good.
We learned a lot about
an hour to get to checkpoint 1 on a first
I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, bro, the first level of GPW 2, because that's what I have to compare it to, because there's an experience gap, obviously. At
I beat that one. That's the only level on Green World 2. I beat that. A lot of sodas in a long night, but that checkpoint, that first checkpoint with that stupid falling Koopa, I died there a zillion times, and I hated it, but I loved it. And like once after the first checkpoint, and that section's easy, but then it's just I'm excited to try these hacks without lag now because that's gonna change. Because it's literally like a half a second where I'm like, okay, I got to jump beforehand now and re-grab through my Bane because when am I even doing it? So I'm excited to try them out.
I think you're gonna have a blast. If you want any recommendations, I have literally a list of like I call it the path to Kaizo, and it starts you in standard hacks, goes to beginner, intermediate, then expert, and then mentions some fun shell hacks that you could do if you want to improve on that, or fun cape hacks if you want to improve on that. And it's
don't sleep on standard hacks. Those are some of the most fun hacks you can play with extreme difficulty.
Oh, dude, anything that the jump team makes, I'm a sucker for, but it is brutal.
Yep.
If you
so
they can be harder than Kaizo, dude. Some of them can be like, some of the levels can be harder than Kaizo levels. You're like, why is this difficult? But it's like, nah, like it's some of them, especially if you try to do. I always tell people to start at jump half. Jump half is an excellent transition from regular 96 star to trying to get to beginner Kaizo. And so like, because it starts to give you some interesting things to mix in and everything, and that's not typical of Mario, and there's some chocolate and some fun in there. But like jump half has like 100, I think it's like 121 exits for all exits, and like to do the all exits is just as hard as like a beginner Kaizo, or like getting into like light intermediate with some of the puzzles and things. So
So before we move on from this, I just got to say one thing. Kid Parlor kind of has this curse but it's a good curse. And we've had a couple of different guests that either got partnered right after they were on, so looking at you, Cheese Pops, or right before their episode. And I got to take a moment here and just say that actually, when I first reached out to PlainOleTrey, it was to possibly be on our January episode. And here I am thinking maybe that'll be his last push to partner. You know, it was for Cheese Pops was right on the cusp of partner when he was on stream. 2 weeks later, he got partner, I think, a week or two later. And lo and behold, you know, Trey was like, I can totally do that. The February, we were like, yes, I can't wait to have you on. And here you are with the check mark. I gotta say, congratulations to my boy PlainOleTrey. GG on partner, my friend.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, man, it's been a long time coming, and I've just continued to meet awesome people like the lovely Ashley Florida, who introduced me to Poncho Taco and Cheese Pops. So now, from, you know, making one friend, I've made 3.
Well, we can't be friends right now because you're my coach now. You're my Kaizo coach. And so, like, do you want me to call you coach, skipper? Because this is how you sent the invite. Or
I was thinking we could kind of. Never mind. That's probably not. Never mind. I don't think that.
We'll talk about it off.
I was gonna make a joke, but that's fine. We'll move it on. We'll edit that out in post.
Yeah. Craig, this bookmark this time again. Another edit.
I'll see you.
I've been saying on my stream, you know, this week when we announced that you were coming on, I've been saying like I'm excited for this one because, you know, this is like the 3rd or 4th time we've had someone who was either on the cusp or had just gotten it within the last week. And we didn't even like plan like, okay, you're going to get partner and then you're going to come on. Or it just happened that way.
Right.
And I was like, it's going to be cool. Go ahead.
I got the message. I'm going to be honest with the podcast here. Cheesy Pops sent me vocal recorded messages, threats. If I did not achieve the partner check before, don't show up day of. Said that to me. So that's something that's out there. I just want you to know that. Cheesy Pops came for me. So that's real.
It's okay. It's out there. It's out there. We got to talk to Pops here.
When I become the greatest ROM hack Kaizo person ever, I'll be like, well, the thing I did was threaten this guy. It turns out he was a great ROM hacker. He became my coach, and you know, full circle. It's like he saw the troubled youth, even though I'm 40, and he's like, I'm going to take care of this guy. I'm going to, take him.
This little boy's eyes. They need to see the light.
Jesus. But what I'll say though is that going into this episode, I was super excited because, like I said, we've had 3 or 4 people have been on the cusp of this happening, and they happen to get it either right before or afterwards. But it's fun because it's a fun time for that person to be you know, in general. And then we have them coming out of the podcast and they're just full of energy. Things are going right for them. They got what they got what they've been working towards, or they're just about to get it. So bringing the energy onto the podcast, it's super fun when this happens to line up this way. It's really fun. Makes for great episodes. Absolutely.
It's such a relief after you get it because you're not like, I don't care about. You get denied a few times in a row and they keep saying the same thing. It's like copy and paste. You're like, what am I doing wrong? And like, okay, maybe I have to have 75 or more every stream. You start stressing about it. Yeah. And then it's done. You literally just flip a table and you're so excited. And then you're like, oh, it's just a little purple check by my name. But that's okay. We did it. On to the next one. You know?
Right. On to the next,
but
man.
The anxiety and
challenge,
stress, when it's gone, it's like this giant gorilla is off your shoulder and you're like, oh, okay, I don't have to worry about that anymore. You still worry a little bit because you want to keep growing.
Sure.
But you're not like, oh, what happens if I have internet issues today and my stream cuts off after 5 minutes and I only have 20 views?
The metrics don't weigh on you as heavy. So you feel the freedom of and then obviously like there's something, you know, there's a sweet spot for your raid percentage, your raid host percentage that a lot of folks don't realize. And so like you don't get stressed when big raids come in anymore. You're like, wait, no, you're just here to have fun with me, and I don't have to worry about this affecting me in a negative way, which is kind of bogus on Twitch's end to make that affect you on a negative way. But I also understand, like, somebody gets rated 1,000 and they've only streamed 3 times, now all of a sudden their average is 75.
Sure.
But like, But but if that happens though, a lot of the times they'll be like, this happened in 3 days. Like, this is why we have this this wall here. But it's like, no, you're right. It relieves so much of the stress once you get there. And it was stress that, like, some of it, I can't lie, I didn't even think I had. And then I realized afterwards, I was like, oh, I actually was pretty like in my head about this.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
Sure. All right. Well, that was good talk. Good talk. Let's move on to our next segment here. We always like to kind of talk about, we play a lot of games online. What are we playing offline? I know, Trey, you just told, I don't know how many people knew this. You play Mario Maker 2 offline in like your free time, apparently.
like a little 30-minute sessions.
Okay. You're not grinding like Panga levels for like 8 hours a night.
No. I literally play sometimes not even 15 minutes. It's very quick when I tell you I play it. I'm like, oh, I like to play it. But it's just funny, and it was just funny at all to me that I play it because everybody's
it's
like, "Why would you
to
play that?
Mario Maker
I know,
2.
I love it. I think it's
okay to play games.
You're like a kid that gets caught with a magazine he shouldn't have. You're like, no, it's fine. It's a fun game.
Nah, but I've been, I absolutely couldn't stand Tower World, so I've been playing. Persona 3 just came out. I got that downloaded and it's ready to go.
Sweet.
So I'll be playing that. That's my current fixation. Probably tonight, literally after everything's done today, I'll probably start up a fresh file and get to playing.
Awesome. What about anybody else? You guys playing anything offline at all in your own time? You have something, Ashley?
Pops
You're
first.
speechless.
Okay, Pops. All right, we'll go Pops. Pops, what do you got?
So I'm in a huge retro kick. I started streaming, wanting to stream retro, and like Trey, the only two viewers that would watch me were me and myself. I had my alt account and my computer watching. I'm like, I know there's two of me in here, and you're saying one Twitch.
Viewers in the game, baby. They haven't missed a stream. They're still showing up.
And then, but I'm back to retro right now, and I think if I would have timed my last Jurassic Park Grant speedrun, it would be in the 8 minutes, which would make me the 9th ranked Jurassic Park Grant speedrunner in the world. There's only 8 submitted runs, so I'd be last place. But still, I'd be number 9, baby.
Find that niche.
I'm proud of you, dude. I made a leaderboard with Super Mario Brothers Wonder. First time I've ever done anything like that.
Wow.
Nice.
Let's go.
Very happy about that.
I think I'm about to enter my bad game phase, where bad games that I just like, I want to do like terrible void, but right now it's just Jurassic Park. It's not a good game, but it's part of my childhood and I love it, man.
What are these? Can I hear a few example of these bad games that you speak of?
So
that you like?
Recently I played Mega Man X7 on stream. It was like a sub goal, and the voice acting is bad.
Oh, come on. You don't love that?
Oh, dude, it's so much fun. So I want to find games with the worst voice acting so we can all just laugh at it, or games that are like, there's bad that's unplayable, but there's this soft spot of bad games that are just fun to laugh at, somehow fun to play. Like newer Sonic kind of falls into that a little bit, like the jankiness of it. And
can I suggest 3 titles for you? Literally a trilogy of games, dude. I think you would love. My Name is Mayo, dude. Look it up.
Never heard of it. I'll look it
up, dude. It's $1.
$1? That's in my budget too.
Your channel would love it. You can interact with the chat while you're playing it.
I'm all in.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I've got the platinum trophy for all 3, by the way. So when you start it up, understand PlainOleTrey completed this.
You're gonna be in there backseat the whole time. The whole time.
Entire time.
Like, he's not figuring it out.
My name is Mayo, dude. You have to look it up. I'm not even kidding. I'm actually serious. It's pretty funny.
Oh man, I will absolutely do that. I love that. I love bad games that are so bad they're good, and I think that's gonna be my new jam for a little bit.
I dig that, dude.
I actually enjoyed the Jurassic Park speedruns. I think that you do them really well. I think you should keep going. Like, we watched someone in our community become, second in Symphony of the Night, which was really fun. And I think if you put a timer up and did a few runs of that'd be pretty cool. I'd like to watch that.
It'd be fun. It's what I like. It's like an 8-minute speed run. It's not pixel perfect, and like there's only one level with a really huge mistake. So even if I do every trick wrong, we're talking 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And so it's also it's so janky looking, it's so stupid, and it fits all categories. So
I love
I think
it,
I'm just
dude.
gonna be a bad game speedrunner for a little bit.
I love it.
Ashley, what about you?
Games that I'm playing, I'm playing nothing offline. Everything I'm playing right now is pretty much online. But I did, like I said, I just finished Grand Prix 3 fake ending, which is levels 1, 2, and 3, and you see credits, which was really cool. I just finished my very first ever randomizer. It was Ocarina of Time. My gosh, was that fun. I had no idea how hard I had the settings. I had what's called Skull Sanity. You could find anything from a Skulltula. I was finding like the hook shot from a Skulltula. Like I had hellacious settings on there and I had no idea. And I really, really enjoyed it a lot. But for now that I'm done with Grand Prix 3, I have a lot of hacks on my roster that I want to get to. I've been talking about Chicanery by Bufflin forever and ever and ever and ever. So I think I'm going to get to that this month as well. Continue with the randos. And then the only other thing that's on my list to come back for me to kind of like piggyback off of what Pops was saying is I used to be the world record holder in Bell's Quest on the Sega Genesis. I'm in second place right now. So that's another, it's only like a 13-minute speed run on that game. I love the game to death. So I'm going to get back to Bell's Quest speed runs here pretty soon. So that'll be cool.
Sweet. Very cool. As for me, I'm playing a couple things. Christmas time was just around the corner, so as far as my gift, for anybody who doesn't know, when I play offline, I am very much like a heavy narrative game. Like I buy PlayStation for because I only play offline. I don't play multiplayer games. I always get PlayStation because I love their heavy narrative action games, whatever they have going out. Like that's what I love to play.
They build some of the best in the industry.
Absolutely.
I mean, people will argue that all day long. That's cement. You don't have to get into all that.
Yep.
They're good games, and they always are, and they always pull you in. Those are the best to play offline to yourself, man. I agree with you. I only enjoy those. I didn't play God of War Ragnarok online. I played that to myself. I told the community, I was like, nope, we're playing this.
I'm just enjoying this on my own time. Exactly.
That's right.
I recently played the new Spider-Man 2. Had a good time with that. Real fun game. Yeah, it was awesome. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And now it's not exclusive to PlayStation, but I'm playing through Alan Wake 2. Bizarre, wildest game ever. I don't even know how to make sense of it. There's the thing I really appreciate out of it is there's a lot of FMV in it. Full motion video where it will suddenly transition to real life actors playing, like, because they have life actors playing the characters in the game, like they have the likeness and everything, and then it'll take it out even a layer back, and there'll be FMV where Alan is sitting there like in not an SNL, but like a late night type show, and he's talking with he's like, I don't know what's going on. Like they pull a layer back into FMV and then pull you back in. It's really wild what they do. I don't know if I recommend the game for everybody. It's extremely mind bendy. You don't understand anything that's going on story wise.
Did you play the Alan Wake 1 and Control or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool for you then, right? On that, having like all that universe kind of connected. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I have not played it. That's why I was curious.
Yeah, I highly recommend it.
Feels knowing the lore.
I think you can get away with not technically playing Alan Wake 1. They do a pretty good catch up of everything, in my opinion. But there is definitely some real cool callbacks, call outs, Easter eggs from all their other games. Because if anybody knows anything, their games are kind of connected in the weirdest ways. Like all of them are that Remedy puts out, and it's real cool to see it happen. And you're like, I saw that. It's like I just saw it. That's from Control or a reference there. It's real cool. This game kind of seems like Remedy finally got unhinged in the way that they've been needing to with all their games, and they went all in. They made this beautiful product. It doesn't make any sense. It's like trying to understand Metal Gear Solid 2. Nobody understands Metal Gear Solid 2, but they love it. That's what Alan Wake 2 is going to be, and everyone's going to like it. So nice. It's a good game. I recommend it. It's a real fun game if you're looking for an offline experience with no multiplayer, no DLC, just a real tight story with good gameplay and stuff. That's what I'm playing. I guess I'll say one more thing.
What's up? Let's hear it.
I'm not a fan of I feel like we talk about this literally every podcast. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh God.
I'm not a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't think
Just
there's
in
ever
general?
been a good game. I don't think there's ever been a good Sonic game. Music is the only good thing that's come out of the series.
I tell you what, I played through
Whatever.
all the way for my first time, literally in 2023, Sonic 2, because I couldn't find Sonic 1 anywhere. And then I did the brand new Sonic game. I bought it when it came out and played
Superstars?
through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that was like, it was basically back to 2D, but it was like 2.5D kind of, like it was like making it look really, really pretty. Yeah, Superstars. So, yeah, man. I even after the community swears up and down, I'm gonna have to agree with you, dude. I think Sonic's pretty whack.
Embrace the jank. Embrace the
I think
jank.
Sonic's pretty whack, dude.
I don't think they're
You fall
good.
for the level for no reason. That's an element that is enjoyable. Just enjoy the bad game design. That's what Sega's known for. It's fun and stupid.
God. See, but I have to say, to be fair, I was never a Sega kid.
Neither was I.
I was
Right.
always a Nintendo kid. We didn't have Sega anything. My buddy Nick lived down the road. He had a Sega. Ain't nobody going to Nick's house to play games.
What? Streets of Rage,
Everyone's
man.
going to the Nintendo house.
Everyone was at.
Everybody's coming to play the SNES, play some Killer Instinct. Boy, they was trying to see what Full Gore was about. Like,
More out of here. Kondo was the best player.
Well, I was the cool kid on the block because I had a Sega. I never had a SNES. Always wanted one, but I had the Sega, so I had Mortal Kombat. So when my parents weren't looking, I could turn on the blood. So I was the really cool kid in the neighborhood that had Mortal Kombat.
There's definitely a layer to being
dude.
cool with having the game that had the blood in it. Like you were cool
That's
if
true.
you had the bloody games. But anyway, going
That's
back to
true.
Sonic, I always tell people never buy Sonic day one because I can guarantee you within 2 weeks it's going to be on sale. And I'll tell you what, that happened with Sonic Frontiers. When it came out, I made a joke. I was like, $60. I'm going to buy that game when it's $35 in like a month. And I kid you not, 2 weeks later, I found it on Amazon for $35 brand new. So I bought it. I bought it for the memes because I was like, I'm going to put my wallet where my mouth is. I'm going to do it. Same thing happened with Superstars. I just found it for $20 at Best Buy. So I picked it up and I'm like, I'm going to play this. I'm going to play it on stream sometime. I don't know when. But I picked it up and I'm going to play it. So that's coming at some point on stream. I'm going to play a Sonic game. Yeah, that's all I'll say.
It's, I get it, right? You gotta do something. You gotta have a mascot, but boy, it just,
it's a good game.
The best Sonic that ever existed was my man teamed up with Mario for the Olympics, and we could play that on a Wii together and see who could ski down a little bit faster. That was about it.
The best Sonic game is about Mario.
But you get all the Chaos Emeralds. He
Mario and
goes
Sonic
Super
needed-
Saiyan.
Dude, right? People are like, what about when Sonic goes yellow? I'm like,
I will say,
His hair gets big and sparkly.
the best Sonic game I have played probably is Sonic Mania. That probably is the best one. I don't think it's like this absolutely amazing game. I will say, out of all the Sonics, I think I've at least played most of them. That is one I actually wanted to play to the end, and I did finish it. I did have a decent time with it, enjoyable time. I still don't think it's anything amazing though.
Dude, also one more note about Sonic. One more note about Sonic is every final boss in every Sonic game never knows when to end. They just keep going.
Even
they're
in Mania, they have a problem with boss fights.
You beat Robot Sonic, now you're gonna beat Dr. Robotnik, but now Dr. Robotnik's gonna be in the air and you're gonna fight him again. And it's like, bro, you die there and now you have to fight Robot Sonic again. I'm like, bro, this is the dumbest thing ever. Why do I have to fight 4 bosses off of one checkpoint? Like, what is this about? And then the best is the people that defend it go, oh, boss rush.
What? Doesn't love a good boss rush?
I love a boss rush.
Boss rush. Yeah. Okay. Make it reasonable. There are plenty of boss rushes that are good. This is clearly an example of how to not do one.
Skill issue.
That was one of my video game pet peeves. Is like 5 minutes of nothing for one hard section, and then if you die on the hard section, you have to do the 5 minutes of nothing again.
Yep.
It's so like that's if the level is super fun, that's ultimate. Okay, fine. But if it's like cookie cutter nothing, you've just wasted I don't want to play this game anymore because I have to do this 5 minutes of nonsense over again just to die and learn one more section. So I get it. Sonic ruled those. Sonic's the best. I love Sonic. Go Tails.
Look, I like certain boss rushes. For example, Sekiro has this awesome mode where you try to do all the bosses without dying. That's a lot harder, but it is so much fun. So much more fun than the Dr. Robotnik Metal Sonic fight. The coolest part of that was Metal Sonic, and they let him be there for like half a second if you're good at the fight. Like, he's done. You're like, great. Now it's just the same fight that's been the same fight at the end of every level. I just hit this guy from underneath.
Essentially.
Like,
so we all agree, though, Sonic 2 better than Sekiro is what you're trying to say, right?
Oh, my God. Yeah, dude. I can't wait to get a chili dog and get a... Never mind.
All right. So those are the games that we're all playing offline. We're all busy people, and we do find chances to fit games in offline. Let's move into, I think now's a good time. You guys like voicemails? You guys like emails? I think
Sure.
I think we should hear something here. We had before we get into this, I do want to say we do have a voicemail and email on the podcast here. If you have an email you'd like to send to us, we'll read it ahead of time. If we think it's good, we'll put it on the podcast. We'll react to it. We'll respond to it. We'll discuss whatever it is. You can send your emails to email@arcadeparlorcast.com. That's email@arcadeparlorcast.com. And it might be featured on the next stream. Or if you'd like, we also have a phone number, 402-915-1082. Call that number. It's going to go right to voicemail. It goes into an email where we can see it. We can see the transcription. We can get the audio. We're going to play it on the podcast here if we want to discuss it. And yeah, you can get, it's a way that you can get your voice on here. Pick our brains about something. Tell us, you can say all the things that Pops did wrong, got all these facts wrong. I mean, that's what it's there for. That's what it's there for. So with that said, we actually do have a voicemail here. Let me go ahead and play it here. Hopefully you guys can hear this. Let me pull it up. Where did that thing go? Here we go. Okay, let's see.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Giraffe Killer, and I was wondering, how do you guys feel about Power World for real? I mean, honestly, how do you really feel about Power World? A lot of things I heard is that they use a lot of AI to make their things, and you know what, frankly, as an artist, I don't agree with that. What do you think? Is it not a big deal? Is it a big deal? You tell me. I want to know. Also, how you doing? Where you been? Thank you very much for taking my call. Love you, baby. I'll see you later. Bye.
So that was a phone call from Giraffe Killer, asking our thoughts on with that was first off an amazing voicemail, absolutely amazing voicemail.
Oh my God, bro! Oh, he's a goofball, dude.
That was incredible.
So
if we start the podcast with that voicemail, we're gonna blow up. We're gonna be the biggest podcast.
That's all you need.
It's just a black screen. Hey, how you doing? My name's Giraffe Killer.
Power World, be honest. Don't lie to me. I'll know. That was great.
That was great.
They just became my favorite person of all time.
Dude, it didn't take long for GK to become a favorite in my heart.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think? Giraffe Killer's asking, been reading some things about Pal World, specifically Pal World. We all know Pal World. I personally haven't seen a lot of it. I know it has things that look like Pokemon. This really isn't a game for me. I don't like Pokemon. I don't like survival games, so I've never played it. I maybe watched like 2 minutes of it. I was like, I don't like this. But that's not the question. The thing is in question is, there's been I did some research. I couldn't find any concrete evidence that things were fully done with AI. But there's rumor, A lot of things were done with AI. You know, the thing. I mean, there's no denying things do look like Pokemons. Things do look like other games. You know, it definitely seems almost. I've heard people say it's an asset rip. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I've played. I gave it another shot offline. I played, I think, maybe 3 hours of it just to give it a shot. I literally wanted to give it a shot. I wanted to see what everybody was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I won't be as brutal about it as I am on my stream, but like anybody who like thinks that it's anything like Pokemon other than the fact that there are monsters that you capture, like, it is nothing like Pokemon. There's no turn-based battle sequences. There's no protagonist with a story from a hometown with a mom and a professor to go visit and a rival. You start in a loincloth like every generic Survivor game, and they're like, get a pickaxe, cut down a tree, build a house. Like, they make you do all of this. And you've seen monsters maybe minimally at this point. So then people are like, well, you have to turn the settings of your private server up. So if you want to play on the main server, you have to do all this stuff in slow motion. But if you play privately, you can boost all the settings. That's not fun to me. I want to play the actual game. And so what you're telling me is the actual game is going to take hours of grinding to even see a monster that's worth anything. And then you don't even really like fight with... It's much more of an Ark or a Conan Exiles Survivor game than it is Pokemon. But as far as the assets go and the actual designs of the creatures, like you said, I've seen nothing concrete, and I have one stance on it. It's, if it is AI, dude, that's pretty messed up for you to rip it off and to do that. I don't think the game should be allowed to make as much money as it's making, fairly. But if it's not AI and those aren't ripped from somebody else's hard work, then I'm fine with you having another survival game that has monsters in it. Like, I don't get mad at Digimon Survivor. I don't get mad at Monster Hunter. Oh, you're hunting monsters. Oh no, what? Is it a Monster Hunter ripoff now? Like, people just like to get upset because they were very identical to Pokemon. And then you found out how many toxic Pokemon players there are because they went overboard for no reason. And then the group defending Pal World has gone overboard for no reason. Go figure, kids. Extremes are never good for anyone. That's what happened. Like, you saw the internet just take these crazy stances really fast over this.
Real fast.
And it blew my mind because, like, I wasn't on social media because I was gone for a weekend. So then I got back from being gone for a weekend. I'm checking my social media and I'm like, oh, wow, people are really upset about this. People are really getting intense over this. And it's like, I don't know, man. If AI is stealing from an artist, then, like, I don't know. I kind of have an issue. Like, you shouldn't steal people's work. It is what it is. Granted, some of my emotes are gifts off the internet, but, you know, they say public use. They don't say copyright. It says I'm free. But you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, man. It's a very weird line. Because just because something looks like something doesn't mean anything. Like, Agumon and Charmander, for people familiar with Digimon, like, okay, like, what? Those were supposed to be similar things, orange dinosaurs that breathe fire. Like, so now nobody can do anything. Like, you can't make a superhero that flies because Superman could fly. Oh, it's a Superman ripoff. I just think that people love to have something that they feel like they can be real extreme about, and that this allowed that to happen very easily because it was successful.
You're right. I think
being something that's so controversial.
I want to say, the things like this have been going on for how many years now? I mean, go to like the Google Play Store on your phone or your iOS App Store and just search the term Fall Guys, for example. You're going to find all these ripoffs. It plays identical. Maybe they don't look like beans. Maybe they look like little people with leg, like, I don't know, boxy, like Robloxy, if you will. This has been going on. I think this is the first time something like this has blown up at like a AAA level, maybe, and so people are kind of freaking out about it.
That's a good take, I think.
Yeah. I think it's in the light right now. And what I have with AI is, you know, AI is the buzzword right now. It's been for like a year. Companies talking about AI. You know, how are we going to leverage AI? How are we going to use AI here to do this, to automate things? I think a level of AI is great. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if they used AI to maybe create concept art, to assist with
course.
creating. I mean, this is what the tool's for. AI is great for creating concept art. Create your concept art, but AI isn't to a point, at least not yet. And somebody send this in if I'm completely off base. But I don't think AI is to a point yet where it's doing full 3D renders and then these things are ready to ship in a video game. There is tons of manual work that still needs to get done. Sure, you have your concept, your 2D concept art, but you got to bring that thing to life in 3D. You got to do all the movements still. And AI is there. It's a great. I think it's a great tool. I don't think it's and please do send this in if somebody knows better than me. Send it into the email or something. Stop by my Twitch chat. But it's great. I think just for concept art and stuff like that. I wouldn't surprise me at all if that's what they used it for. I don't think they used AI to fully rip into 3D and then just shipped it. I don't think it's there at this point.
See, and my stance too on this is like, I don't know, man. Everyone knows that. I mean, it's just a fact that Nintendo tends to be pretty litigious when it comes down to their properties. And so my thing is, if this game has been in development for about 3 years and people have known about it for 3 years, and a game like another Metroid 2 remake, which is a fan-made Metroid 2, gets cease and desisted, and it hasn't even been talked about for less than 6 months, I can't help but think the common people might be wrong on this one, that the multi-billion dollar lawyers that literally sniffed this stuff out never came at them. Like, they come at people literally making knockoff, like, anything. You know this. So it's just like, if I'm wrong on this one, I have no problem being wrong. That's also not something I have no hill to die on here, but I'm like, sure. I just feel that the multi-billion dollar company that's done this their entire existence, and everyone knows you can't copy Nintendo IPs or you will get cease and desisted. I can't help but feel like they've not dealt with Pokemon ripoffs and clones since '96. And it is perfectly fine for it to exist if it didn't truly steal any asset that they built. Now, if it's stealing an asset, like if it's stealing asset packs, that's a different conversation, I suppose. But I don't know. I feel like people just, again, they found something that could have extremes. It was a hot button topic. You said it yourself, AI, hot button. And they're like, now we can do it because now they're talking about it, and it's at like you said, a AAA game is being brought up as the subject matter. So now it's a big conversation, right? And it's like, now we get tribes. I get a group that I get to belong to. I hate Power World. I don't like it because of the AI. It's like, okay, it's just, I don't know. I think that's what happened, and I think people found something that they could latch on and talk to because there wasn't much buzz elsewhere. Nothing else is out right now. Like Persona 3 Reload just came out, but nothing else was out at the time. Like, if something like GTA would have been coming out and a new Zelda and a new Pokemon within the next couple months, Power World would have never got any light. Like, I mean, that's personal opinion, dude. I just think that it would have never gotten, but there's nothing out, dude. What is everybody playing? And why wouldn't you want to be a part of the conversation? So I feel that the conversation of this is what drove Power World sales even more. Because people were like, well, I want to see what the controversy is. I want to be a part of it. I'll raise my hand. I'm one of those people. I literally bought it because I was like, let's see what the fuss is about.
Let's see what this is. Yeah. Let's see what this is.
I will say, if we didn't have Pokemon ripoffs, we would have never had the Digimon movie soundtrack with his low-key lit. I am looking at the songs on it. It is banger after banger. The Digimon movie soundtrack. So that's my stance on it.
Dude, I like it. And you're right. The Digimon movie did have great music.
I'm looking at it like, this is ridiculous. It's unbelievable.
All right. That's our voicemail. Again, if you want to send in something to have us talk about, that's 402-915-1082. We'd love to hear from you. Even if it's just to call in and be like, yo, you guys are awesome. Yo, you guys are the worst. Send it in. We like to hear from you. You guys are cool. You guys are our listeners, and we like to hear from you. We also do have like 2 emails, I believe, came through. Ashley, I sent them over to you. Would you mind reading one of those off for us?
The first one comes from our very own best ever arcade parlor moderator ever, Tie-Dye Chef Dave, for the Keck W cast with PlainOleTrey. And here it goes. Hey, y'all. Thank you for another beautiful installment of Arcade Parlor. As a chef, I'm always curious to learn about what it is that streamers love to indulge on. So with that in mind, what is your favorite dessert of all time? Or if you could have a dessert created for you, what would it be? What would be in it, etc.? Thanks. Tie-dye Chef Dave. P.S. Cheese Pops. Please don't have anything in your dessert that involves ketchup. Pops, you look
Banned.
really happy about that.
He's banned. Ban him. My favorite dessert is wheat sodas and agave juice. I'm not a dessert guy. I have a lot of vices, and if I can cut half of those vices, I'll be healthier. So I tend to not eat sweets because the other vices are more fun.
I feel that.
I
think.
And I'll go. I'm trying to think. Like I typically like savory and stuff. I'd rather eat like an extra slice of pizza than have ice cream or something like that personally. But if I'm sitting down, I'm gonna order dessert. That's why we're here. I mean, I like to kind of keep it simple. I mean, give me chocolate chip cookie dough, ice cream or something. That stuff's delicious. I grew up. I still like it. We just had it at my daughter's birthday party and it was great. Confetti cake. You can't go wrong with confetti cake. I know it's simple.
Oh, yeah.
This is easy stuff. Anybody can do this. You just throw the batter in.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
not like any specialty that needs to be done here. But I mean, simple stuff for me. I don't really need anything crazy. Again, that's coming from me. I typically like savory stuff anyway. So.
I honestly, I would just pretty much mimic what you said. So I'm not even gonna. I feel the same way. I'm a savory guy over a sweet guy any day.
We'll see this at a fair though, or what's that funnel cake?
Funnel cake.
Oh,
Chef's kiss.
That is.
Give me funnel cake all day. That's
the powdered
only time.
sugar on there and everything. Oh man, that's great.
Oh, yeah.
Growing up in the South where everything's fried, man, funnel cake lost its flair for me, unfortunately.
I can see that.
Deep fried Oreos left and right.
Dude, yes.
Go in some oil. I'm gonna eat it, bro.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, it's just so much. But I don't know, here lately I've just kind of grown out of that too. Like, I enjoy a good savory meal. I like a lot of flavors. I really, really enjoy a good Indian dish because it's very earthy spice. It's not like not like the like heavy peppery spice that you get from like say Spanish food or like Mexican food. Like that's more of like pepper based, I feel like. Whereas like just those real earthy spices that go into Indian food are it's a different kind of heat. You feel it like a little bit more in like your chest than on your tongue.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
I do want to try one of those donuts with bacon on it, though. I've never.
Ooh,
Every time I see those,
I've had one of those, a maple donut with bacon on
Me
top.
too.
just lie to me and say it's amazing.
It's amazing.
No, it is good. It actually is good.
It's great.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was weird. Like I was like, I don't know what I'm going to think of this. I ate and I was like, not half bad. It's decent. It's decent.
Nice.
What about you,
For
Ashley?
me, I worked in the dessert industry for like almost a decade. I worked at an ice cream shop and a chocolate factory for a very long time. So sweets a very long time ago just like left for me like the desire for sweets. But I recently had a dessert that I had never had before and it changed my life. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
This is what I would have. If you could create a dessert for me, this would be it. It was a cheesecake, but the crust was baklava.
Oh wow.
So that flaky
Interesting.
Greek dessert with the honey and the nuts. Oh my God. One of the best things I ever ate in my entire life. Like nothing else I ever had in my life. So if you want to name a dessert after Ashley, Florida, give me a cheesecake with baklava as the crust and we could talk.
Nice.
That is the first time I've ever heard the word baklava, and it's like quickly skyrocketing up my list of favorite words to say.
It is a fun
Baklava.
word to say. It is a fun word to say.
I feel it in my belly when I.
It's like a Middle Eastern delicacy dessert. It's good.
Yeah.
It's like flaky,
delicious.
but also kind of chewy.
Oh.
It's hard to explain without just trying it. It's good.
I
Right.
wouldn't have said baklava as a dessert. I would never said that, but I do love the word. I'm thinking baklava sounds like a. I don't know. I just love
like
the
a
word.
weapon.
Sorry, I'm excited about it. Baklava.
I like
One
it.
more time. Baklava.
All right. I think we have one more email. Ashley, would you mind reading that?
Sure. This email comes from our very own friend Juniper Zanity. It says, PlainOleTrey question. It says this. Hello, Arcade Parlor. Congrats, Trey, on getting partnered with Twitch. I am so happy I found you thanks to our wonderful Ashley FL. It's not a surprise you were made partner. Your streams are pure entertainment. My question for you, Trey, is how do you keep your hair so luscious and beautiful? P.S. Exclamation point mweep. Juniper Zanity, aka Jupiter Zanity.
All right. Well, Miss, it's, Jupiter. Look, let me tell you, it's one of those things that I honestly, it's family secret. I really can't tell on stream. I'm just not allowed.
He's gonna be so sad.
So, yeah, unfortunately, it's just a family secret.
Wow.
It's been handed down from the forefathers.
That's it.
The plain old forefathers.
That's all you're getting. Seriously. All right.
How old were you when you were taught the secret? Like, do you have to earn it? Is it like 13? You became a man.
It was like a
recipe,
like this like weird thing with the church. I don't know, but like after that happened, I guess I was a man. So
this church, which I just imagine going into this church and everyone just has incredible hair, and it's just you go in where feel shame and they're like, sir, you're gonna have to leave.
That's
and
it,
as they
dude.
escort you out, they hand you a bottle of shampoo. It's just a very
Nobody knows what's in it. It's just what makes our hair so great.
That's what hey, look, it's the magic, that's part of the magic. Sorry, trade secret.
Oh man.
Well, I'm stealing that. It's like, how did you get good at this video game? I can't tell you. Not gonna let you know.
I'm just not telling you.
Figure it out yourself. It's like the opposite of backseating. Someone actually coming for help.
I think if anybody but Jupiter would have asked, I might have had a different answer, but
it's valid.
Wow.
I like this new lore. Just being a boy.
Email at arcadeparlorcast.com. If you guys want to send something to us, we'll get it on the podcast here. Again, that's email at arcadeparlorcast.com. We love to hear from you. Send it in. You could be on our next episode. With that, I think let's move into maybe some self promo here a little bit. Okay. We're all doing things on the internet in various forms, and this is the time that we can kind of brag about maybe we got something cool coming up. We want to tell people, hey, get excited, get here, show up for this, or catch whatever it is, later, whatever it's going on. This is a great time to do that. Ashley, why don't we start with you?
Hello, you can find me at twitch.tv/Ashley with 2 E's _FL. And you can find all of my links to my TikTok, my YouTube at my brand new website, ashleyfl.com. It has links to absolutely everything, including the podcast. So if you want to see any of my TikToks or YouTubes, it's on there. I'm currently streaming Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday evenings, usually SMW, and Sunday afternoons as well. Probably doing Ocarina of Time randos.
Ooh, sweet. Very cool. Pops, what about you? Where can we find you? What are you doing?
Cheese pops at all the places. Extra P in there because the original cheese pop was smart before me and picked the name, so I threw an extra P because I liked it. I'm going to be streaming ROM hacks coming up with Trey as my coach, so you can look forward to those. It's going to be incredible. We are going to skyrocket up. It's going to be, it will be my Miyagi and Danielson, and the crane kicks you will see are going to be legendary.
I love charity work.
Oh, it's gonna be. You're gonna get frustrated. You're gonna get mad. I'm gonna have to take off the '90s family-friendly tag because there will be a lot of language thrown my way. Just jump. Like, what's a jump button, man? It's like, All right, but yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
I love it.
Awesome. Trey, where can our listeners? You're the guest here. Where can our listeners find you? Do you have anything cool coming up you want to tell them about?
Okay, so I'm using Ashley Florida's format here because she messaged me how I should format this, like most people. So I'm going to use this. You can find me at twitch.tv/Ashley_. You can find me at twitch.tv/PlainOleTrey. I'm streaming every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday night. I'm just kidding. No, I'm live all week. Twitch.tv/PlainOleTrey. We're live every Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We start every day with a block of Kaizo, like I mentioned earlier. Then we go into our game of interest for the rest of the show. We are all over the place with that. It could be Zelda randomizers. It could be the new PlayStation release. Coming up, we've got Mario versus Donkey Kong. They're remaking that. That's coming out on the Switch. We'll be covering that. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, all at PlainOleTrey. TikTok's kind of not really being used right now. I'm trying to revamp that soon. And yeah, we're currently working on Precision 86. If you'd like to see what very, very, very difficult Kaizo looks like to no end, stop by and check us out one morning. We'd love to have you. And that's all I got. Thank you so much, guys, though, seriously, real quick, while I'm doing my thing, for having me on. Pancho Taco, Ashley, Florida, Cheese Pops. Seriously, I think you guys are so cool. And it was so awesome to see how you do things and just kind of be a part of everything. So thank you so much. I can't express the gratitude enough that I'm feeling to be able to be a part of something like this. I really love things like this. And when Ashley hit me up, I was so excited. I like everything. I was just like, I got to drop everything. I got to figure out how to do this. So thank you so much.
That's awesome. Absolutely. We've had a blast having you on here. This is a great episode. I know our listeners are going to love it. I know they're going to love it. As for me, twitch.tv/PanchoTaco. You can go to panchotaco.com. It'll just redirect you to my Twitch channel. I've been posting more on the TikToks lately. Put on my big boy pants and subscribe to Premiere Pro. I've been having some fun time with that, making some stuff. So check me out there. It's the same username everywhere. Turns out nobody really thought to get the username Pancho Taco anywhere. Nobody put those two words together. So that's where I'm at. Live on Twitch Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday evenings, 9 p.m. Eastern. Lots of Mario. GeoGuessr Sundays. Friday is we're actually doing Super Mario 64 crowd control full playthrough. It's wild. We're like 48 stars. I'm making my way slowly, but we're having a good time. We're having a good time every Friday doing that. But that's me. Trey, again, thank you so much on behalf of Arcade Parlor. Thank you so much for being on here. This has been an absolute blast of an episode. I know our listeners are going to love it. I'm glad to hear that you had a great time. I hope your community loves it as well. This was awesome.
Thanks again, man. I agree. I'm so grateful. So thank you so much. It's been an awesome time.
Awesome to have you, my friend.
Yeah, that was a blast. I had to mute my microphone laughing so many times. It's going to be a good one.
Absolutely.
Tears in my eyes, man. I'm losing it. Poor nice. Jupiter, just sitting there asking a nice citizen. Nah, I'm telling you.
I'm not telling you anything.
That's on brand. You know what? This is still PG. But one thing that I used to say very early on in my streaming days, like 15 people watching when new subs would come through, or people would be coming through and they'd be regulars for a couple days and they hadn't subbed yet, I'd always say, remember, guys, you can get cussed out for free or cussed out for a fee. $4.99, sub to me.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
I used to say that all the time.
Oh my God.
It's my thing. Yeah, it was fun.
Well, with that said, this has been episode 18. We'll be live with you again in March here, everybody. We're coming up on 2 years in just I guess 6 months. It's not that close. We still got time. Never mind. This is 18 months, episode 18. Adios, guys. We'll catch you next month. Enjoy whatever you have going on with your friends and family. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.